there, everybody. Welcome back to the super awesome video game show here on Rage Select. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
And we're playing Heat Signature again this week because we're going to do a thing we haven't done in a long time, John. We're going to do some tips and tricks tutorial. So first things first, if you haven't already watched us play Heat Signature, this is the latest game for the guy who made Gunpoint.
Yes.
And it's I have been playing this game non-stop, for every free moment I've been playing this game. I love this game, and I feel like I didn't get as much of a chance to talk about exactly kind of we kind of went through the intro and did a few things, but having played it so much more, I've got some further thoughts for anybody who might be interested in playing this game. So first things first, this is a roguelike game where you pick a character and you're hijacking spaceships and you're going on missions and you're doing stuff. And so the first thing that you need to do whenever you start the game is to pick a character that you want to be. Now, there's actually something that's interesting about this. Every one of the characters in the upper right-hand corner has a personal mission. So everybody has a starting kit that you can see on the left-hand side. So you got long blades, wrenches, blah, 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 blah. But on the right side, at the top right, you can see that everybody has an objective. And these are usually one of three different things. It's either kill somebody, rescue my idiot sister who got captured by the Foundry, kill Foundry officer, and then the third one is I can't actually read that, but the other one that you will other one that you'll see a lot of times is to steal a thing. Like, I want to capture this artifact.
Okay.
If you can find somebody that has that mission type, you want to use it, because when you get to their final mission, you're going to end up with a boatload of cash, and I'll explain why that's actually very useful later on. To start with, I'm just going to pick somebody. Now, see, some people, this person, Corona Dust, starts with a wrench and a quickfire gun. I'm generally a very melee-focused person, because one thing you don't want is alarms, and that gun is going to set off alarms like crazy. So I'm just going to pick. I'm going to pick this one because. She is a swapper, and that'll give us a chance to take a look at that particular technology. So before you leave, you've got your station, and the entire, actually, it's worth, before even going into this, to show that your goal here is basically to liberate stations and kind of liberate the universe. And every universe that you make is randomly generated, but it's always populated by 4 different factions. So up here, you can see we have, this is at the bottom, you see how it says Sovereign. These red dots, this is the Sovereign part of the galaxy. So you're going to mostly encounter Sovereign ships here. Okay. Sovereign is, they do a lot of, everybody there's very brutal, so they're very likely to try to kill you. This is Off-World. Off-World only uses stun guns, and they're a little bit their ships are white and they're kind of nifty. Down here, we've got the Glitchers. Glitchers have a very boxy-shaped ship. I'll show you that. They're kind of a mixture of stuff. And then over here, we have the Foundry, which they have very easy ships to infiltrate. I feel like both the Foundry and Off-World are good places to start, because Glitchers and Sovereign will both try to kill you and throw you off their ship, whereas Off-World and a lot of times in Foundry, a lot of the Foundry people just have a wrench, so they'll just knock you out, throw you off the ship, and we'll get to that in a minute. But you can see that every one of these sectors has one of these, which is Off-World Security Stronghold. Once you've liberated 10 Sovereign stations, you can do a mission that basically lets you unlock this stronghold. And then what you can see is that on the right it says, after liberating this stronghold, new characters have a chance to start to already own the Sovereign Coldfire Pod. Okay. So every one of these different factions has their own ship that you can actually get, and it's usually way up in their tech tree. So here's actually the Sovereign Coldfire Pod. Sovereign Coldfire has a use button that will actually let you bypass ship sensors. I haven't gotten all these, but the ones that I like the most are, the one that I like more than any of them is this one, the Off-World Angel. Okay. Because when you get thrown out of a ship, normally you have to catch your body, but this has a thing that just teleports you onto the ship.
Oh,
so
okay.
it allows you not to get hurt as much, and I'll go into that a little bit more later. The Foundry has this the Foundry brick where you can just ram a ship and like go into that ship anywhere. So instead of having to enter at the airlock, you can just ram into the side of it and just get into it. But you have the possibility of damaging the ship in a way that can sometimes make it unusable. And then last but not least, down here with the glitchers, we have the glitchers tick, which basically, instead of having to dock with another ship, you just teleport right in. Those are your rewards for getting these stronghold missions. Now, outside of the stronghold missions, you see all these little dots that are all around here. This is tech. So we're going to start with one station, but as we get liberation missions, we're going to be able to unlock tech. So this station here unlocks high-capacity emergency shields.
Okay.
This one unlocks silenced guns. And that's nice because something like silenced guns works across the board. So all guns now, shotguns, assault rifles, you know, they all have a chance to be silenced. So if you can get something like that, it's really good. And so, like, over here in Off-World, you can see that we have high-capacity emergency shields and rechargeable emergency shields, which are two different things. And I'll get into that in a minute. But before we do any of that, maybe we should just go into the meat and just show kind of what you do in this game. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take this is a rescue mission. So we can see over here we're going to get kind of the lowdown of what's going on here. Rescue aboard a small sovereign ship. The alarm response time is 136 seconds, which means if you get seen, you have 136 seconds before it's just kind of game over. And then this ship doesn't have many guards. This is an easy mission. You can see that the normal guards are outfitted with long swords, and the bosses have a key card and guns. This is going to become really important later when we're planning later missions.
Okay.
But for right now, we're going to do this. You can also see how much liberation progress you get down here, and you can see that the harder the mission is, the more liberation progress you get. But let's just start out with an easy one. I'll just show you guys the gameplay loop of how this works. So, actually, before I leave, one of the things that I always do... Sorry, I'm just going to go back in here real fast. Your character always starts with a little bit of money. That's what this is, this little teardrop thing down here. And one of the things that I always buy if a character doesn't start with it is a wrench. It's $1. It's a non-lethal thing. I generally tend to go non-lethal because it's kind of the same as lethal. You always have the option of killing somebody later if you want, but the wrench is nice to have. So
Okay.
you go around with the left shift key to thrust. You can use F to speed up time. You can use the right mouse button to like match your velocity, your vector to a ship. So just while we're on the outside of the ship, like these little places right here are actually the sensors for the ship. So if you get within range of those, the ship will start to blast your pod, and you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, which we witnessed that in the last video.
Yeah, so you always want to kind of come up from as near to the side as you can. Now here is where we actually get into the meat of what's going on. One of the most important things that is in here is the ability to hit the space button and pause time anytime you want. So if you're in the middle of a battle and things are getting overwhelming, you can, just pause. You can also hold down the shift button to look around the entire ship so we can get our layout. This ship has a single door with a level 1 key card in between us and our target. This is the pilot. He can't see anything. This is some armor-piercing rounds, and this is some money. And we've got 2 guards. So what I'm going to do at first is I'm going to use, I got my wrench, and I could just go in here and hit these guys, but I wanted to show some of the tech. So this is a swapper. There are 3 different types of teleporters in the game. A swapper switches places between you and the other person. You can see the orange circle here shows the range of the swapper. You have what's called a visitor that'll let you teleport anywhere within the range of the thing, but then after 2 seconds, you go back to where you started with. It's actually really good for stealing stuff from ships because you don't need key cards. And then the third one is just a regular teleporter that'll permanently teleport you to a location, but you have to have a clear line of sight. So, like, right now there's an airlock between me and anything else, so if I had one of those teleporters, I wouldn't be able to go like over here. But if I was standing, say, right here, I could just teleport anywhere that I have a free line of sight to. Now this particular guard is going to see us when we come out of our ship. So we're going to, because this is a melee guard, we're just going to kind of move over here, and he's going to come and look for us. And then I'm going to basically hit him with the swapper, move him over there, and knock this guy out, get his key. We've got our person. and we got to put them back in our pod. And boom, we could leave. Now, but before we leave, I want to show you a few other things that you can do on a ship. So, first off, if you get seen, you've got this little Metal Gear exclamation point on a person. If you get seen by a person, I'm going to let him sound the alarm. He'll come up and it'll finally say intruder. And once that fully gets done, you can see that we've set off the alarm. We've got 136 seconds until we get captured. So we can knock this guy out. Fuck him. And I can show you that what's happening now is that this ship is heading for a friendly station. And if it reaches that station, this character is gone. It's game over. We got to pick another character and start over. But what you can always do when a ship is in here is if you go and you knock out the pilot, you will stop this. So knock out the pilot, ship secured. We don't have any more of that. Good to go, right?
Okay.
We're free to do whatever we want to. Once you've knocked out the pilot of a ship, you can actually do a few other things. Like you can fly this ship. Like if I fly this ship, I can turn it. It doesn't have the same mobility that the pods do, but if you want to, you can actually use the right mouse button to shoot projectiles. Well, it doesn't.
Maybe
seem
not
like,
on this one.
Not on this ship, but a lot of times you can shoot projectiles, and you can actually engage other ships. Like you could try to use this ship as to hijack another ship. I find it to be incredibly cumbersome because you've got to manually thrust, right? You've got to manually like kind of get within range and then like match velocities.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do if you have a ship, let's say that you don't want to manually fly your little pod back, you can just hold down the F button and that ship will basically fly you back to your space station and boom, you're done.
And we stole the ship.
Yeah. You don't get any money for that. Unless there's money like laying on the ground of the ship. Now, whenever you get a thing that has an objective, you're always going to put it in this little drop point. At the drop point, we got our money, we got our liberation progress, we're good to go. So that's your basic gameplay loop. From there, you have a bunch of shops, and these are all going to be pretty sparse right now because I haven't really liberated much of the universe. But they've divided up into a few different things. This is actually your stash. This is where you put stuff. Like I could put my long blade in the stash, and it'll go there. That is actually going to become very important in just a second. You've got your pod shop, which until you unlock some of those other pods that I was showing you, there's nothing but like your own. If your pod gets damaged, you can buy a replacement here. You got guns, or this is explosives, this is grenade launchers and grenades. You got guns. This is where the guns are. You've got gadgets, which right now this is a Sidewinder is. The other type of teleporter that I was talking about. But the interesting thing, this is actually a good thing, is you have stuff like this, which is a rechargeable swapper. And so every time you come back to the station, you get the 3 charges of the swapper back. This Sidewinder has one charge. It's 3 credits. And once it's done, it's done. Like you
have to buy another one.
You have to buy another one. I always tend to go for rechargeable stuff. And then there's actually a tier above that, which is self-recharging equipment, so that it usually has fewer charges, but it recharges constantly even when you're in the middle of the game. Those are the best things. If you ever get one of those, you really are lucky. And then here you've got the miscellaneous shop where you can buy blades, like melee weapons, and then you can buy, a lot of times they'll have one overpriced item. These are usually garbage, but sometimes you'll find self-recharging stuff. And then you've got mystery crates, which basically is a random drop.
I do appreciate they're called overpriced.
Yes. So we can also go and talk to Sater, who is basically the person who will give us our personal mission, and she will want $200 credits for every mission, essentially. So our first step is to see about getting 200 credits. Now, so let's do, what do we got
69 dudes.
Sentry guns, alarm ship, and then we're hijacking. Yes, I will take this one. This is going to be a little tricky just because of the things that we don't have a whole hell of a lot. I'm actually going to buy this Sidewinder because it's cheap and I could use something. And then I'm actually going to buy this shotgun as well because in my game, I've unlocked a lot more gadgets. So when you go into this store, when you unlock one of the things in the liberation map, like you say you unlock the emergency shields, right? Then in the shop you'll find emergency shields all the time.
Okay.
But since I don't have anything, I'm kind of crapped out. So this is actually something to take into account when you get a mission. We're trying to actually hijack the full ship. So unlike the last one where we could have just left, we really do need to take out everybody and hijack this ship. Alarm response time, 52 seconds. There's a lot of sentry guns. That's going to make things a little bit more difficult. We can see that most of the guards have guns, and the bosses have what's called an emergency shield, where if they see you, they will bring up a shield. Sometimes you'll have bosses that have a shield that's always up, and that can be a real pain in the ass. For these, you just have to make sure to take out the bosses first, or else you're kind of boned.
Yeah.
So we took that. Oh, wait, did I already get that mission? Oh, no, yeah, I already got it. So let's go ahead and run over here and try to get this guy. Okay. So let's pull into the back of this thing. Now, one thing that is worth noting is that on a mission like this, which is a hijack mission that doesn't actually have a timer, because some of these missions will have a timer on them, it's actually really important to take your time. Yeah, because you don't want to set off an alarm. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Just like that. So, yeah, okay. This is actually good. It'll show us what happens. Well, I'm going to fail this mission, but so I'm unconscious. Oh, shit. Nope, I did it. Yep. All right. Oh, okay. So now we've got a time limit. I think what happened was by swapping with that guy, he killed me in the airlock, and when this door closed, he didn't see me. So I bled a little bit, and then I got back up again. Right. Yeah. But now we have ourselves a little bit of a problem because we've got 41 seconds until this thing's coming to port. So if we scroll back, what we're going to see is that we've got a long way to go to the captain.
Yeah, we do. I don't think we can get there in 41 seconds.
You'd be surprised. So first thing that we're going to do is we got the tier 1, and we got, okay, so here's a grenade launcher. So this guy's got the level 2 key card that we need, and we got a sentry gun in the way. So we're going to try and knock this guy out. We hit the E button or the use button to turn off the sentry gun. Then we're going to try to get the second level key card, and oh, nope. Okay, yep. So he's going to throw us out the airlock. Now, when you get thrown out the airlock, you want to immediately grab control of your pod and then try to pick yourself up. And the problem here is that you see the passing out in 18. That's like how long it is until I die. But now my blood loss is permanently put this person's time and space after they've been shot down to 18 seconds. This is going to fail. That's fine. There's not really a lot of problem. There's not really a lot of consequence for failing a mission. So, you want to give it a shot. So let's go in here and grab another mission. Now, see, this mission...
So that's going to be hard.
Let's try it. Let's try this one. See, this mission is interesting because this mission with her icon on it, there is a... Fiasco has... There's intel on here, and if we get that intel, she'll knock $40 off of the intel that we need to complete our character's personal mission. So instead of being 200, it'll be 160. Oh, shit. Okay, I didn't realize this was timed. Well, is this a off-world ship? Because if it's small enough... Okay, here we go. Boy. Let's see what we got going on here. Is that one? I think we can do this, John. 25 seconds? What do you think? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get this guy out of the way, and then I'm going to try to get this key card. These guys got a wrench.
You going to attack that guy?
No. See, he put his shields up.
Oh.
So because he's got his shields up, I'm actually going to run and try to knock out the pilot, because then at least that will get us into a position where we don't have to worry about getting captured, right?
Ah, okay.
So then we can, once that's happened, we can kind of do this at our leisure, right? Because these guys, this is actually the perfect mission for starting out the game, because these guys, if you hover over them,
don't you have a time limit on the mission itself?
The reason we had a time limit was because the pilot was driving to a space station.
Oh, okay.
By knocking out the pilot, the timer's gone. And not only that, but even if we get seen and thrown off of the ship, we will not incur another timer. So we have now an unlimited amount of time as long as we don't actually get killed. And because this is off-world hits you with stunners. So this is perfect because we have like unlimited chances now to try to liberate this. This orange circle on this particular guard is a sensor. So if we get inside of that sensor, he'll know that we're there. And he'll try to come at us like that. But we're going to knock him out. We're going to get our level 2 key card. Another thing you can do is if you hit E, you can pick up bodies and hide them so that people don't know where they are. Here's our mission intel for Fiasco. So if we hit E, we get that. So now no matter what happens, we've reduced the cost of our personnel mission by 40. And then here's the guy that we need to assassinate, but he's actually really fortunate. He's got himself a sensor. So if we get in his sensor, he's going to say, what was that? He's going to come over. We're going to knock him out, which actually doesn't count as an assassination, but if you hit the space bar, there's an option over here where you can kill him. So you can hit kill. He's dead. So now the only thing left is we've got ourselves a little goodie chest down here. Now these guys have gotten all riled up because of my previous stuff, but we're going to see if we can't get the key card anyway, and we might be able to use our swapper a little creatively to get that. This is a little challenging because I have to make sure that none of them see me, because if they see me, then they turn on their shields, which I don't want. But if I go like this, and then I run into this room, I can at least try to pick this up. So, and this is perfect. So we got ourselves a stealth shield. This is actually a really useful piece of technology, is when you use it, that cone, as long as that cone is pointing at the enemies, they can't see you. So we're able to take out this guy and come around here, and there's some armor-piercing ammo, which is always useful, so we can grab that real fast. And then we can get the fuck out of here. So there's a successful hard mission, and you can see that, like, you don't really level up in this game, right? Everything is based on your everything is based on your equipment, right? So outside of the health that you may lose from getting tossed out into space, nobody has any special attributes, right? So we did that. We got all that stuff, and then we're going to go ahead and take a second. We're going to sell off this to get ourselves a little extra cash. So now, at this point, for this character, we're just looking to get cash, all right?
Okay.
So we could do missions for this. Okay, so we could do missions to do this. We got here's assassinate somebody on a sovereign ship, steal the glass contraption. That's it pays pretty well. We've got, this is actually relatively decent, and this is an off-world ship. Yep, we're gonna do this one. We're gonna do a few more of these, but then I want to show you on the way back. I'm gonna show you another way. Oh shit. Okay, so we got 56 seconds. So later on, there's a gadget that you can get. Oh boy. Okay, but they don't actually have shields, so I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which is shoot these motherfuckers. So if we pause, we can aim. Since we don't have to worry about alarms because we're already essentially in an alarm state. So there we go. We got rid of our timer. So now we can knock people out at our leisure. Now, one of the things, do you see how? Let's see, where'd he go? See how this guy down here has a little box icon on him?
Yeah.
That means he's got something like this. Like he's got equipment like what we want.
Oh, okay.
And when you knock out guys or you kill people, like somebody in this ship had a long-range visitor, which is a nice thing, you can hit the E button, and that will teleport this back to your stash on the station because you only have this many inventory slots, so you don't want to take them up. So I'm going to murder all these guys before they see me or as they see me. But see, they use stunners, so he knocked me out. So I'm unconscious, and then I'm going to become conscious again, and then I'm going to fucking shoot all those guys. So I'm not usually this cold-blooded. This is a lot easier, but we got ourselves a subverter, which this turns, if you have enemy turrets, it turns those turrets to be on your side, so they'll actually shoot the enemies for you. And then we actually have a long-range crash beam, which is actually a really useful thing. So let's get our loot. Send that to the stash. Let's go ahead and check out this other box.
Taking the long way, huh?
Oh, this one.
Oh, okay.
And then I think that's it. Yeah, see, up here there's a turret and some guys, but I don't care about them, right? Actually, I think that there's a recent update that just added in the ability to see whether a guy has anything on them, and these guys look like they're all just BS, so that would just be a waste of time, right? So let's just get the fuck out of here. But on our way back, so one of the biggest things that you're going to have in this game is you're going to be trying to get money, right? To buy new things.
Yeah.
Even to buy your way out of it. Well, one of the things that's really interesting is that if you come outside of the, you probably have noticed this, gentle watcher already, is you can actually run into other ships that are just doing their thing. I thought I saw one out here, but it might have just been my own little contrails. Wait, hold on. Is that one? There's one. Where'd you go? I thought I saw one. No, okay. There we go. So this guy is basically just, this is a foundry ship that's just on its way to a location. And we can just get in here. And it's randomly generated. Foundry ships are usually pretty easy to run through because their guys tend to use wrenches a lot. But we can just come in here. We can take, I'll take that. It's rechargeable. Anytime you get a rechargeable, I will keep it. You see we got 90 seconds. Knock out this guy. Knock out his friend. And then pick up the treasure. That's a good one. That's a lot of teleporters in this game so far. Send that to stash. And so if you do this, if you also when you're walking, if you hold down the F button, it'll accelerate time as well, so you can get in and out pretty easily. But if you need cash and you don't want to go on missions to do it, you can just kind of wander. I especially like to wander around the outside of the map, because if you catch a ship going from here to here, you've only got the amount of time it takes to go from here to here. But if you catch a ship coming in from this direction, then it tends to give you a little bit more time. But you can hang around the different galaxies. So if I hang around here where the glitchers are, I'm going to see a glitcher ship as opposed to a foundry ship or, off-world or whatever. So this is what the glitcher ships look like. This is 150 seconds. Let's see what we got here. We got a guy with a key card down here. Let's see about getting over to him. Get his key card.
Okay.
And so the other thing...
The ship is very colorful.
Yeah. This is like a very kind of hodgepodge ship, right? Like it's kind of welded together. But another thing that's always useful is to, when you first look at a ship, is to pause and see if there actually are any treasure chests in it. If there's not, then it's probably not even worth screwing around with. But if you do this, you can see that it's pretty simple to just kind of rack up some loot real quick without having to pick a specific mission. And the way that the mission payout goes, it's cheaper just to... Oh, shit, son. Okay, so this is great. This is a self-charging item. So this is a visitor, which is the teleporter where you teleport, but then you teleport back in 2 seconds. Yeah. So I'll demonstrate. So we've got, say, this guy over here, we want his key card, right? So we hit the button. We can teleport anywhere in this range. So we can go, boop, attack, and then, boop, 2 seconds later back. And then you can see this number filling up. Now we can use it again. So let's say that we didn't even want to get that key card from him. We could have just bopped in here, taken this, and then bopped back out again. So I think that the visitor is perfect for robbing places, because you can jump into places, you can grab key, you can jump into a mass of guards, grab one key card off of them, and then bop back out again. The only thing that's a little bit tricky is that you don't have any control over that 2 second time. Yeah. So if you jump in and hit a guard in the face and there's like 3 other guards, then you're fucked unless you take out those guards. So I'm just going to get one more glitcher ship here real fast, because that was a great haul getting that self-charging visitor.
I appreciate the giant bong when you hit the side of it.
So here's our... so this is a high-capacity stealth shield. That gives us 5 charges anytime there's a high capacity. So let's see. We've got 2 guards in here. So this guy has that orange glow on him. Yeah. Means that if you kill him, not if you knock him out, but if you kill him, he explodes. So that's why I always like to bring a non-lethal weapon, because if you get these guys, it's easier. So we're going to bop in here, hit him, grab his key card, bop back out again. And then we're going to head for the pilot, which is over here. Oh. Okay, so another thing that you can do is just about every ship has these little lips, so you can, like, get out of the way of the person. And then we can bop over here, grab this guy, bop back. I love the visitor. Like, I hated it at first because I was like, who the fuck wants a teleporter that teleports you back? What use is that? Turns out really, really useful, because as you can see, we're coming out of this heist with... This slows down time. This is a stealth shield that always regenerates. We got a self-charging visitor. We're in great shape to do like a really upper tier mission, and all by just kind of bopping around and hitting some ships. So let's go back and turn in that mission that we had, and then I'll show you like 2 more things, and then we'll be done. So
Okay.
I really like this game. I think it's an exceptionally well-made game, and I love the idea of having this game, of being able to do updates to this game to add more factions and add more stuff. So we're going to put that in the drop point. We're just about to our first liberation status, but more importantly, all this crap loot that we got when we were doing these missions, we can now sell all of that. So now we've got 217, which means that
more than enough.
yeah, we can unlock our personal mission. Here's the 160. And then we can also, if we have any extra, we can take a look in the gadget shop. Let's see what we got. Nothing good because we haven't unlocked anything. And here we've got overpriced rechargeable visitor. Nothing super great. So we're going to go ahead and just finish out our personal mission. Okay. This is actually one that's going to be really difficult because we need to unlock something before we can do this mission. In fact, I need to check something. We need crash beams because every one of the guards in that ship has a shield. So we can't punch through shields unless we have a crash beam, and that's going to be pretty far. So let's go ahead.
So I will say something. This is actually something I kind of regretted not saying on the last video.
Yes.
While you're kind of looking at this stuff, the guy who made this game, like you said, his last game was Gunpoint.
Yes.
So this is a guy who originally was a video game reviewer, and then he decided to put his money where his mouth is and basically make a game.
Yeah.
And that's how Gunpoint was made. And he uses just Game Maker off of that you can buy on Steam or whatever.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, if you find him on YouTube, I forget what his YouTube channel is called, but if you find him on YouTube, he actually does a tutorial on how to use Game Maker that's pretty easy to follow.
Yeah.
And he teaches you how to make some simple like a simple little game that kind of actually gives you a lot of information on how to you can go a starting point to do a lot of things with. That I would highly recommend people check out, especially if you have any interest in making games.
Yeah.
Because he's all self-taught. Like he didn't go to school to learn how to make games or anything. He just said, "Okay, I'm gonna make a game.
Yeah.
I've heard Game Maker's easy to use, so I'm gonna use that," and learned how to use that. I think even this is made using Game Maker as well. So I mean that's definitely if this theme looks really cool to you. And you have an interest in games, I would definitely check out his YouTube channel and some of his videos because he has a lot of really good videos where he just talks about game design and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So,
so right now I'm just trying to find I'm doing some liberation missions, but we're also trying to find the thing that we need to turn off those shields on that mission. Another thing that you can do, I don't know how. Is if you want to, like if you have an assassination mission, this is kind of an extreme way to go about it, but you can always blow out the airlock. Like if you're in a room with a guy and you can even take yourself with it. You can even kidnap people this way. So you can see this other guy flying through space. If I'd have gotten him, like the off-world angel ship will actually pick the both of you up.
Oh,
which
nice,
is kind of cool.
nice.
So yeah, no, but that's I really like I look at this game and there's nothing about it that seems like dramatically like it's not as good looking or as good sounding or as it's just kind of a medium game, but like there's something about it that just really tickles my imagination. So
Yeah.
So by the way, here we go. Here we got our first liberation point, so we can unlock a variety of different things. I'm going to make a beeline for the rechargeable crash beams because there's a lot of stuff that you're going to need, and on the way I'm going to grab this grenade launcher, concussive grenade launchers, high capacity key cloners, and the off-world angel because those are all things that I know that I want. Now, the other really cool thing about unlocking stations is you get new clients. So this is a certain type of mission where you get bloodless missions where you're not supposed to kill anybody. Works really well for old Jeff, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that you get, which is kind of nice, is by unlocking new stations, you can actually go to those stations and get different equipment. than you would normally pick up. So you still only get access to the things that you've picked up in the game, but if you're looking for something specific, you can talk or you can take a look. No. Okay, but I'm actually going to try the overpriced mystery crate. You ready?
Ready.
Remove rechargeable sidewinder. Fuck, I've got a lot of those. Let's see, maybe I can try another one. So the reason that I told you to pick a character that has a high bounty is if you do that bounty and you get the shitload of money, you can buy all the mystery crates that you want, and a lot of times you will get you will end up getting these self-charging things. It's one of the fastest ways to get stuff. Now, here's another interesting thing: is that this Corvus Lafoon's slipstream this is actually somebody else's game's character. They had a character named Corvus Lafoon, and when they retired, whenever you retire, which is you end a character, you go up into this little thing here. You're able to pick one thing from your inventory to basically seed into the world as a random pickup. I recommend always doing the self-recharging stuff because that is more useful than just like picking up a high-capacity thing, you know.
Okay.
I just don't think that I can do this. Let's see. We got a little bit of time here. Let me just see. Steal the Costello object. Bloodless. Few guards. Time limit. Serious guard kit. I have a crash. No, I don't have a crash beam. That's what I really need is a crash beam for this. So one of the other things, you know what? This is perfect. One of the other things that you can do, as time goes on, one of the other things that you'll end up seeing is down here you'll get a notice. Once you've used the same character for a while, a thing will come up that says, this character's so well known that you're only going to get 60% of the liberation bonus that you would normally get. So you start to get
diminishing returns.
Diminishing returns. Thank you very much. So at that point, you want to choose somebody else. And here's the thing. We can actually choose somebody else right now. So we can just grab another person with their starting kit, leave our character here, and do another job to get liberation or whatever. So if you have a character that you feel like you want to unlock some stuff first, you can always jump back to them later. And it's another reason why it's never a huge deal if you lose a character. So we got a swapper. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap with this guy and then fucking knock out his buddy. And
that guy's probably like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, shit. He's shooting at me. So you can actually dodge one shot. Oh, that doesn't really do a whole lot for me, does it? Oh, man. But like I said, if you start to get overwhelmed, you can always just hit this button and you can like kind of pick your poison. So like there goes that guy. I'm going to wait for this guy to go, but I don't want to. If I hit him this way, he'll go out that window. So I want to make sure that I don't lose him due to that window. And then that guy has a key cloner, which those are pretty useful. So like
you're not going to take out the pilot?
Yeah, I'll grab him real fast. So we got here rechargeable visitor, and whatever. But what's nice about those key cloners when in the bigger ships is a lot of times this one's an extreme range cloner. You can just like hit this guy and it goes boop, and now I have the level 3 access that I need without actually having to get close to him. So there, as you can see, there's actually a whole lot of like kind of emergent gameplay ways to.
Don't you gotta assassinate that guy?
Oh yeah.
Trying to help you out here, Jeff.
Yep. Thank you, John. You know me better than I know myself, which is pretty good. So, and in the early days, like this game may seem a little strange. Like in the early points of the game where you are, where you don't have that much tech unlocked, it can be a little bit frustrating. But as you do these liberation missions, and you unlock more and more tech, you're going to get a lot of like. You're going to get a lot more options with ways to kill people. So, like, that stealth shield, for example, is a way for me to do a whole, like, between, say, swappers, visitors, stealth shield, and, like, a keycard cloner, I could go onto a ship and never touch anybody. In fact, there are going to be missions that unlock later on where the option is, or where the objective is, do not kill anybody and do this mission. So, let's... Uh-oh, that was pretty quick. Fortunately, we were pretty close to this. And badoo.
Well done, sir.
What do we got? Rechargeable high capacity visitor. Hell yeah, take that. It's useful. Yeah. So I don't know how much more. I'm wondering if we can get to that person's personal. Oh wait, see, I can't even need level 3 access. I've already got all the things on the ship. Oh, but I'm stealing the ship, so.
Yeah, and then there's personal mission intel.
Yeah, get that. So now we've reduced what's her face's fee, so we're down to 160. All right, so we've got our same swapper. So let's try a little craziness, right? So we're gonna swap with this one. We're gonna knock out this one. We're gonna hit this visitor over here and hit this one, and then when we come back, we're going to surprise this guy, and boom, we're done. So you can see that you can really combine the different things to really kind of give you a lot of unique opportunities. Let's see. Does this one have a? Yeah. See. So there's my missiles.
Okay.
The right-click missiles. But we're just going to grab this one. So that's actually a pretty good haul for the first mission for a new character, right? We got a decent amount of stuff. We got some stuff in our stash that we can sell off to get some more stuff, and I don't know. What do you think, John? I don't think that I can get down to the swapper fast enough. I don't know if I can get enough liberation. I need like 3 more liberations in order to get to that thing, and I don't know if I can get down there fast enough. We're at 40 minutes. Do you think should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
Okay. So, I don't know. I hope that this at least gives you a little bit of an idea about why this game is good. I don't know. John, as somebody who's really only watched me play this game, what do you think?
I want to play it.
You want to play it? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, because to me, it's interesting because it seems very rudimentary, right? Like, it's not graphically like the most interesting thing in the world. Like, it's that's not to say that it looks bad. It's got a nice style, but it's a top-down kind of little slamming and jamming. So,
yeah, but I think you've also shown the depth that this has. That even though with its rudimentary, the depth of like how you can take out a room full of guys if you need to, or not take out a room full of guys if you don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, and I'm actually really looking forward to I don't know if he's going to do it, but if the developer is going to be doing updates, because it seems like it would be pretty easy for him to add in more. Oh, you know what? We never got to see some of we saw one Foundry ship, but let me show you guys what one of these guys looks like with a Dominion or whatever they are. No, that's from Deep Space Nine, isn't it? These guys have a really interesting look to their ships. Did we get on one of these? Yeah, we got on one of these before.
Yeah.
The black and red ones. Yeah, I don't know. I look forward to seeing kind of where this goes, because I feel like, like I said, it does have an awful lot of potential. I also I don't know if this is the case yet, but it also seems like the sort of game that would be open to modding, that would be interesting for modders. Also, show you a few things that we never got a chance. So we've got a shield, which is actually perfect for these assholes because they like to shoot at you. So if we let him shoot at us with our shield on, it'll actually ricochet.
Nice. So you
can have people get killed by their own bullets. There's also another problem that you start to run into later on where you have armored enemies. So you have to pick up armor-piercing things. And if I have a complaint, it's that the armor-piercing options are somewhat limited. Like, there's one melee non-lethal weapon that is armor piercing, and it's the one from the tutorial, so it just shows up at random. So I'm not saying the game doesn't have a few warts here and there, but it's fun and it's got a nice gameplay loop, and I hope that this convinces anybody who's interested to give it a shot. So thanks everybody for watching. Yeah, this has been Heat Signature, and we'll catch you next week.
Yes.